During our DMANCOM, I presented to you our goal, no, using the BEDP, no, yung Basic Education Development Plan of the Department of Education, yung aspiration natin, yung kanang atong na drawing, no. And this BE-LCP, yung BE-LRCP, is anchored on that. Eventually, that's our goal now. Diba? I do believe because you remember our vision, no? Our vision and mission of Depedzn during the time of the previous administration, yung with them of Filipinos who passionately love their countries. So may mga konting tweak, especially on the vision. Ngayon na dito sa ating BELCP, yung BEDP pala, Basic Education Development Plan. So ito yon, no? I do hope maklaro dyan sa inyo. This is our BELCP, BE-LRCP, no? Nanay R, no? Learning Recovery and Continuity Plan Framework. Actually, my initial plan really is we have to cascade this one sana ngayon to all even the school heads, no, for them to prepare also their BE-LRCP. Why? Because yung order about the end of the school year rights, nandun din nakastipulate we need to do enrichment or remedial, yung mga enrichment or summer classes. And mind you, that's part of learning recovery. That whatever gaps, yung kakulangan ng ating mga bata because of the pandemic, during my message, no, yung sa graduation kasi, my usual message is that our graduates this year are so lucky. Dili sila bayi, lucky yun. Why? Because they have 3 modalities. No, na ay una yun, katong face-to-face before the pandemic. Then, of course, meron tayong distance learning during the pandemic. And, of course, 2 quarters, meron tayong limited face-to-face. So, blended. Parang ganun. So, swerte kayo sila they have that kind of learning experience. So, we eventually produce our graduates. No? So, ito yung one, yung framework natin, because everything starts with the framework, no? And we have blueprint where we will make our BELCP. So, okay ba tayo? Napa mo diha? I cannot see you kasi because kuwan na akong gihibog ko, ano? Full slide.
Present si John.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yan kanang ikaw na ginusaran mo. Sige. Okay.
Still present.
Thank you. Thank you for responding. No? So you have noticed there in our our framework, apat yan, no, nandyan sa kwan. No? If you have downloaded the BEDP, parang Deped Order number 31 or 29 yata yan, no? Nandyan in that BEDP, Basic Education Development Plan, ang yung quality framework, no, quality and evaluation, basic education quality management and evaluation framework, parang BMF yata yan. And in that framework, ang merong may mission, may vision. So itong sa right side, yan ang vision natin for our learners. Our vision, our end in mind, no, yung gusto nating makamit for our learners, no, by 2030. This is 2030, ha. So meaning long plan ito na our learners, our Filipinos, always are able, no, ito yan, to realize their full potential and contribute meaningfully to cohesive nation. That's our vision. And of course, coupled with it is the development or parang the development of these core values, yung makadiyos, makatao, makakalikasan at makabansa. And of course, yung 21st century skills. No, ano yung 21st century skills? 4Cs yan, no? Yung palagi na natin yan kung ano, yung communication skills. Kaya nga, meron na tayong mother tongue, using mother tongue for them to eventually speak in English and Filipino. Ano? Using yung mother tongue. So, communication skills, yung creative skills, no? And of course, yung collaboration skills, and critical thinking skills. These are the 21st century skills that we need to develop, to instill in the minds, or to develop in the minds of our learners. Whatever problems they met, they will be using this one. Kung sa secondary dyan, siguro yung education program supervisors natin during the monitoring nila sa PISA, makikita talaga doon yung mga competencies. In fact, global skills na. And if ever our learners are equipped with these 21st century skills, kahit anong test pa ang ibibigay sa kanila. No? Kahit anong competencies pa yan. Basta meron silang 21st century skills that they can communicate, they can collaborate, they can they will be creative and critical in everything that they will see. Eventually, they can answer. So yun po, no? That's the end in mind. Our vision for our learners. And for us to attain that vision, dyan sa circle, no? Kung titingnan natin dyan sa circle, meron tayong IOs dyan, yung intermediate outcomes. No, meaning, yan ang mga expected results that we will be evaluating at the end of the school year, or if not, at the end of our planning cycle. For strategic planning, 3 years talaga yan, no? And of course, yung short term and long term man tayo. So, may 3-year tayo, 3-year strategic plan, or of course, may 6 years. So, ang gagawin lang muna natin, 3 years. But for BE, Lrcp, 1 year. This year lang, no? Pero I'm giving you this framework para at least guided tayo. So, ito yung mga intermediate outcomes. We knew before that meron tayong tatlo lang, no? Before, meron tayong access, quality, and governance. So, muna at may paran sa una, no? Naragin na quality, nanay access, quality, and governance. Pero dire, naupat na, no? Napagani sa ubos, na ikalima. So, I would like to discuss this one, no? First, IOs, no? Yung intermediate outcomes is about access. Sa access, nandyan sa access, yung nilagay namin dyan, yung mga immediate outcomes lang talaga, yung na hindi mahirapan yung even si teacher, even si school head, no? So, ito yung mga data na to, si school head ang mag-provide. No? Yung based from the DAS, LIS, yung mga data natin sa school. So, under access, nandyan yan yung NEAR, no? Net enrollment ratio, and then net intake rate, retention rate, dropout rate, transition rate, participation rate, mga enrollment. It's about enrollment, ALS enrollment. So, baka magtaka kayo, bakit yan? Sa mga apps yan, programs, projects, activities. In evaluation, no? Yung monitoring and evaluation, yung immediate outcomes lang talaga yung i-evaluate natin. But for us to yield those results, 100% net enrollment ratio, yung net intake rate, yung retention rate, mga ganyan, we need the means. We need the bridge to attain that, to possibly, no, attain that outcomes. Ano yun? yung means are the programs, the projects, and even the activities. Just like when you talk about net enrollment ratio, isgutan na to diri ang mapping. Siguro no, enrollment kanang uplan balik eskwela, mapping, intensive mo. So may sample ako mamaya dyan, no? Murag diha akong sample akong ihatag. So muna under access, no? Those are the quantifiable outcomes nga gusto na ito makita. Pero later, sa plan na yun, na yung mga programs and projects in order to yield that one. And what with this LRCP framework, bottoms up ito. So meaning, you will be using your own data, data-driven. You will be using your own data. You look for gaps of this data and think of ways to improve. Think of the programs, the projects, the plans, activities in order to yield those expected results. No, when it comes to near, retention rate, dropout rate, assisted rate, participation rate, and others. No, that's under access. Second is equity. Yung green. Green mo na? Colorblind mo ko. Green, no? Under equity, we have that disparity in transition, no? Disparity in transition, completion, participation, and retention rate. And of course, functional literacy. Ito nandiyan, no? Functional literacy and numeracy and 21st century skills. May I know, can I hear parang kwan lang, your understanding about equity? Can I hear a sharing? Ano sa'yo magpasabot ng equity?
Collateral, sir? Collateral?
Collateral. Oh, isa. That's one collateral, no? That's one isa pang loan, no? You have that equity. Yeah, collateral. Yes, that's cervical, no? Another meaning when you talk about immediate outcomes, what is equity? Doon na to permi equality naman, no? No, kung masabtan na to permi ang kwan ba? The meaning of this by comparing sa may kwan ani? Sana antonyms.
Mura siguro kung sir, kaning share. Your share. Oh. Ay murag negative tong collateral.
Okay ra gyapon to kay equity man when you mag-loan ka na equity, no? Murag collateral dili murag ustani anang naa sa ipang
Contribution, sir.
Proportion po, sir. Proportion.
Proportion. Sige. Thank you very much for sharing. So I would like to wala lang, para for us to better understand, I would like to compare. When dito, equality muna. Ang equality, nakaduhog mo equal, no? Equality from the word equal. So meaning, kung naakay 5 ka-anak, katang equal, punay proportion, parito, sa hati-hatag sa ila. But when you talk about equity, kung zaman, kung sa law pa niya, you give more for the less in life. So more, just like in the case dire, pinaka-best na example, katong principal's test, katong allocation ba sa principal's test. Na ang isa sa region at 50 kaslas ang each division. So reklamo kung ano manghatagan man nimo og 50 rami nga mas dako man may compared sa mga gagmay nga division. So when you give equal equal things or equal share to the group, that's equality. But when you give things, no, sharing based on the needs of the group or of the people, that's equity. Nakuha ba na to? So equity means you give those, especially mga more attention, more love for those who needs them. No? That's equity. Just this really pertains to mga gida. No, yung geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas ng mga areas nga na ay karon ba just like what happened now nga ang slot sa master teacher dito sa Cebu upat lang ka master teacher dito sa Cebu compared sa other district nga dool-dool diri sa Dipolog, dool-dool sa Kwan, dool-dool sa Luwag, mas daghan nanubra gani. So naabay siya proportion. So kani silang mga areas just like mga congressional ayun kanang sa Kwan Typhoon SB, they are part of that GIDA, no, yung geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas. So we have to give more more assistance, more resources to them. Or if not, katong mga LMS no mga last mile school nga karon nagselos ang uban kay gwapo kairon ang mga building nga gihatag dito. So those are mga atong mga intervention to address equity, no? Mo na siya, no? We really look at the disparity, no? Ang kalahian, so we give more for those who are less, especially now when it comes to resources because of distance, so that's under equity. Then third is quality. Baka magkuhan mo this is just a framework na apay next kuan presentation ayaw mong kabalak ka because we have data gathering. You have noticed there na sa ibabaw una gap analysis AI, gap analysis AI because we will be using yung data driven tayo when it comes to our plan. So under quality nandiyan na yan. Dito na papasok yung learning remediation and intervention. No, mo na atong buhaton yun kung pwede karon nga week or next week para at least before the start of classes or before ganita mag summer class ang uban naka-start naman maplastar na unta ni no nga we will not only do summer class for the sake of doing this pero nagid it should be based on data, especially the result of assessment result. So achievement test result, teachers training, yung dito na nga, LDM, Learning Delivery Modality. Nasa kakatipid naman talaga number 34, the modalities that we have, no? Kung pwede face-to-face, or if not, meron tayong blended, 3 days, 2 days, parang gano'n, no? Then, the literacy and numeracy, and of course, the assessment results. So, that's under quality. You know? So, these are quantifiable things, no? Then, pero ang mga kamo na yung plano ng programs, projects, and activities. Then, last, ito yung pago. No? Kanang gitawag og resiliency and well-being. No, wala man na sa una. Katura mo itang access quality and governance. Kaya as an offshoot, no? As an offshoot, as a result of realization ba of the pandemic of COVID, morning the other side of COVID ba nga naagid tay na learn nga to be resilient, no, to really bounce back if ever we fall, natin buhat karon, to be resilient nga we do some learning recovery of the learning loss kay musutag sa dili si mama na bright yun adto, no? Usay gani si mama ang nag-answer, no, mo tong during sa graduation si mama akong patawron sa kaning mga medals or if not sila ang tauran, no? Okay, it's really a collaboration between the learners, the parents, and of course the teachers. So resiliency and well-being, no? Under this, ito na yung mga emotional, physical, mental, and emotional fortitude that we need to develop in our learners. No, yung we are aiming that our learners will be an empowered learners na they will not be fooled, dili sila mauwat-uwat, no? Because na-depend order na ang rights-based education, that their rights will be respected because they are empowered. So this will be part of our curriculum. Natay depend order talking about the rights-based education, ganina we are even encouraged to create that ano yan, mga credit, parang about the rights, no? Just like yung committee, no, for yung child protection policy committee, parang moraging ana siya ba, no? So with this, daghanan ni siya diri, that's basically yung mga program sa DRRM as a SGOD under this na ana diha, no? We will eventually produce and empowered learners physically, emotionally, mentally. You have noticed now, especially sa secondary, there are students na naghikog, wala sila anang resiliency, wala sila ana, so kana we need to develop that one, no? So and we need really, no, parang to focus on this. Kaya nga gibutang gina siya diha nga one of the IOs, no, intermediate outcomes, no, resiliency and well-being. So below, yung naka-blue, yung blue, yan ang ating governance and management process. And we have also that vision sa atuan na, no? Sa Depedzn. Sa Depedzn, no, ang school heads, ang teachers, that we should be modern, efficient, nimble, and resilient governance. No, yung education leaders and managers. So, ang gihisgutan niya po ng governance and management process. Kaya nga, we identify already for in our division kung sa atong ginagamit. Just like, of course, under the governance, nandiyan na yung SBM. We have to really intensify SBM, school-based management. Because eventually, kayo na, no? Pagkatapos ng mga instruction na to and everything, malay down na ang plan, sino ang gagawa niyan? Kayo. Ang school heads, no? So I know with the leadership of the public school district supervisors, yung PICDs, no, monitoring them also of the plans and programs that they prepared, no? So under governance and management process, nandiyan yung BBL, no? Yung VBL is values-based leadership. I shared that one. May yung about yung may four principles of values-based leadership. Yung self-reflection, balance, yung genuine humility, no? Yan, and ano yung isa? So then, yung RPMS-driven planning, na dapat naka-align ito sa RPMS natin, the QMS, and of course, when it comes sa HR, sa personnel natin, nandyan yung prime HRM, and that's our goal also, that Zamboanga del Norte will be given that accreditation, no, of being private HRM, and of course ALCA. No, this is about evaluation, assessment for finance, how we manage our finances, our procurement. So yeah, no. Then nandyan sa side yung monitoring and evaluation. In every intermediate outcomes, meron tayong monitoring and evaluation. Kaya nga, nag-start talaga dyan, gap analysis and AI. Why? Again, babalikan ko, one of the principles here is our intervention in the school should be data-driven. Dili lang ta maghangad-hangad sa langit gamoni atong buhaton. We need to really evaluate, know our learners. That's our clientele. Atong yung hibalon, ilon atong learner. And yesterday, there are so many mga sharing, no, of our practices before. And siguro wala pa man gito na change ang ato ang premier. That's our framework sa ato ang DEDP. And I called Jeparel yesterday kung naaba na change ba. So wala man daw, mora man gihapon. Even during the time of Ma'am Lisa, mora man gihapon kay DEDP man gihapon atong gigamit. So we will make use of that prepare framework to assess the intermediate outcomes. Kanang unsa atong nabuhat with that approach using the AI, no, appreciative inquiry. So this is our framework. Then we will translate this one into an outline, no? Kani ang outline nato. Klaro ba? Hi,
Yes, sir. Sir. Yes, sir. Clear.
Yes, sir. Klaro na, sir.
Sir.
So this will be the outline of our LRCP, no? And this is quad. Actually, quad ito. Ano yan? Parang we just recommend this one to you. You have, no, ang school can even modify this one. Para at least na lang tayo guide, no? Actually, quad kay siya very generic siya, no? General. So, we have there, just like ito, kung ito ang gagawin sa division, no? Yung division BE, LRCP. So, ang may introduction. Of course, sa introduction dyan, simple introduction lang. Dashboard na talaga. Dashboard of division. Sambukan na division. Pwede na to katong map with the enrollment. Tanan na dito, mga with the enrollment, number of teachers, mga ingana lang. No, mga equipment. Parang duhara ni kabuok. Siguro ka page, no? Or usa ka page. That's a dashboard. Pwede po rin na buhaton, no? Sa district. If you can make your district LRCP, the better. Then, of course, ang kuwang diri ang sa school because that will serve as their blueprint, no? Especially in the implementation of the programs and projects for this year. Then, sunod na yun na ang LRCP framework. No? Then, next is yung intermediate outcomes. So, under intermediate outcomes, nandiyan na yung access, equity, quality, then, nandiyan, no, yung well-being and resilience, and ang letter E diha ang governance. So, let's discuss this one first. No? Yung una sa access, ang una dyan is yung gap analysis and AI. Naalantay template, we will be showing you later. Naanatanan ang mga intermediate outcomes. Naana ang expected nga IOs. Ang ato na lang, ang you provide lang the data. No? Ako na i-present ko niya. Then out of that, gap analysis nga, siguro 1 page na or 2 pages, proceed na data ang inyong plans. Pero diha sa gap analysis, na-identify na ninyo ang mga programs na inyong gusto buhaton using the 4D. No? Yung discovery, dream, design, deliver. Naanadaan. So, inyo na lang ibutang ang katong detailed plan. Especially sa mga areas under access. Then, equity, napon gihapon, the same lang gihapon na. Then, letter C is yung quality. May sample ako dyan just like under plans for areas, variables, or PPAs under quality, may sample dyan just like learning, recovery, and remediation because nasa focus na, no, yung LRCP natin. So, ipakita dyan yung mga assessment result. Your analysis ba? Assessment result, just like for elementary, yung sa first case stage. For kindergarten, ano yung result ng kindergarten? Unsay tawag na sa kindergarten nga result? Yung ECCD result. So, ang mangyayari, si learner, si teacher, i-identify ni teacher karon, teacher sa kindergarten, kung unsa tong mga competencies in the ECCD checklist nga kulang ang bata. This data will be given to grade 1 for that particular child, no? Kana nga data mo ihatag na siya sa grade 1, dayon siguro for first two weeks or first month siguro mo na ibuhaton ni teacher to address mo nang learning recovery na intervention buhaton si teacher to address the learning loss aning bata, especially in the development of those competencies. Ang magiging ba? So muna na assessment result, kaya nga meron may desired competencies, actual competencies, then of course strategies to address the gaps. Then siguro under the learning, recovery, and remediation also na you will identify now the LDM, learning delivery modality. Diba there's a pronouncement nga starting November, face-to-face na talaga. November, yung in-school face-to-face. No? So, i-schedule natin na. So, meaning, from August to October, pwede pa tayo blended. No? May limited face-to-face, tapos coupled with using siguro textbook or modules or LAS, no? Yung learning activity sheets. Pag November 22 to May 2023, nandiyan na rin, pwede na yung face-to-face. Pero that's really a case-to-case basis, no? If just like in the secondary na umaapaw yung enrollment, pwede tayo shifting. So dyan yan ipakita. Actually, lay down yan sa Deped Order number 34. Nandyan. Yung mga scheduling natin, no? So, then, i-continue tayo sa well-being. So again, nandyan yung gap analysis, plans for areas, or variables, or PPAs under well-being and resilience. So nanadiri, mga rights-based education, katong training nato sa psychological first aid, no, pwede din nato ibutang ang scouting, eventually, no, ma-develop nato ang leadership, ang preparedness to whatever happens, no. So kana siya makuha nato na mga how to address well-being and resilience. Dili lang tan sige tuon, we can even introduce yung sports. Now we will just as a kindergarten, it should be, when we teach the lesson, it should be play-based, to gano'n, no, knowing our learners really. Then, of course, yung letter E is about governance. So, part of this is teachers training based on that RAT result. We have results now for the regional achievement test. Ang mga least learned skills, mababa talaga yung performance natin, especially for first key stage, yung result ng grade 3. So, nandyan na, i-present siguro yan ni Ma'am Lilia. Yung sa DAT natin, mas higher siya compared with the regional achievement test, no? Pero yung sa atin is computer-based kasi yun, no? So, yan ang i-analyze based on that result. Ang mas maganda nga nito, mag-lock session na lang siguro sa district with your help, no? Na ano yung mga least learned skills sa mga schools or by subject, ang mga teachers diyan halimbawa sa district sa Gudon, no, ang mga teachers ana sa grade 1 magtapok muraging ana lang ba nga siguro you will allot 1 week nga they will identify unsa maging mga least learned skills diri, unsa may mga competencies nga murag kulang gid sa mga bata based on my observation. Then you plan out for intervention, paunsa man nato ni siya ma-address. With ang bata, number 1 kulang sa kindergarten, ang mga macro skills diya, kana mag yung number 1, listening. If our learners will not listen, I focus, eventually they cannot learn. No, kana man, no? Listening skills, no? Kamo na ganin na siya, no? Mga receptive language, expressive language, kung imo na i-contextualize kanang paminaw o pag-istorya. No? So siguro atong kindergarten kabaluan na. So these things, kanang naagrihan ni kindergarten nga mga least learned skills o mga strategies, ihatag na dito kay grade 1 teacher. Nga sa first month siguro or first 2 weeks, mao to iyang ma-address. No, mao to iyang gamiton. No, same with grade 1, kung unsa to yung mga least learned skills kayang nahibalaan, anong iyang mga bata before, iya po nang i-forward dito sa kay grade 2 para ma-addressan ni grade 2. Nakita na to. So that's one of the strategies, no? Na siguro in our lock session, especially sa teachers training, dapat data driven tayo. Dili lang nga maghangad-hangad, no? Tanawon gid nato ang result. Kaya nga we suggested even sa education program supervisors nga as early as now, siguro you ask the schools or sa district nga magkuan lang, mo-identify lang og 3 least learned skill for first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter per subject. Then i-analyze kung unsa tinuod ba gyud ni is it true to all, then mo-identify og 5 5 ba or unom nga learn skill ana nga subject per quarter. Then i-address na pod magkuan po rin og mga strategies how to address how to combat that particular learn skills. Murag ana ba mga strategies. So again, naaragyan po na sa tuang solution. No, we need to collaborate. No? So muna, that's our suggestion, no? Especially when it comes to teachers training. It should be data-driven. Kung wala tayo not result sa grade 2, sa grade 4, sa grade 1, wala man tayo result, no? Make use of the test, yung katong quarterly exam, no? Yung periodic test sa una. Makita magin ninyo na, no? Kung nag-analyze kita, no? Or if not, ang grado nila, makita kung unsa tayo mga mubo kayo nga kwan, mubo kayo mga grado, eventually naging siguro to'y kalisod ang mga bata, no? So, then of course, under governance, ginato na walaon ng mga health protocols, naaragyan po itong SSAT na to ensure the preparedness of the school when it comes to health protocols. Kaya as of now, wala pa ginalift ang health emergency. Then of course, yung advocacy and communication plan, nga when you have that plan, dili lang nga ikaw mo lang inyo ng umon diya sa school, but you have to collaborate with the other stakeholders. No? You have to advocate to seek support sa atong mga stakeholders. We have to communicate na to, just like sa Brigada Eskwela, sa Oplan Balik Eskwela, enrollment, dapat na natay mga advocacy materials karon. Gibuhat na natay gipang-announce nga mag-start na ta og enrollment karong Lunes. Diba? So yung no? Naana sa to ang sa Deped Order number 34. Then monitoring and evaluation, no? Kung pwede, quarterly, monitoring and evaluation. Actually, our division, no, with the leadership of Sir Inding, of course, with our 2 ASTSS, nag-meet na sa group to craft, to check, no, parang to enhance our monitoring and evaluation framework para naka-align na gid aning intermediate outcomes. Dili ba siya mahimo nga atong separate ato ang mga M&E? Kung pwede uniform ta, no? Kung sa gibuhat ni schooler will contribute to the M&E of the PICD o PSDS, then ang PSDS sa mga EPS, to the chiefs, and of course, sa top management, ano? So, ingana siya. Then, mga annexes, kato mga detailed plan, part na siya sa annexes. Okay. So, naabatay pangutana about ani? Any question? Pataas lang kamot kung naay mga queries before I will be presenting the next the template. Or nalibog na.
Good morning, sir. Mag-inquire lang po, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
If there is a deadline on this, sir.
Of course. Meron talaga. But after this, siguro kuan na lang to. This is an initial presentation with the PSDSS. Then our timeline is this coming Friday. Now we are expecting that the division Lrcp will be presented to you. To appeal na ang school head. No? We will have siguro using the yung Microsoft Teams na we will be sending our division Lrcp kasi yung deadline na set plus Execom is this coming Wednesday. Matapos na yan ng division. Then, pag ma-finalize yan, then we will be presenting that one this coming Friday. para may sample kayo, may sample yung mga schools. So, nakaangko pa rin doon ng or yan ad. So, yun ang kuha natin. If possible, after the division orientation, siguro a week, the following week, naagintay, o before magsugod ang klase, naagintay LRCP. No, yung school, learning, recovery, and continuity plan. So, okay na ba? Meron pang query?
Thank you, sir.
Sige, you're welcome. Kung wala na, padayon ko. So, ito na yung one. This is the template for our, you have noticed kanina, nato'y LRCP, nato'y gap analysis template. Ito yung template that you will be using. So, later i-share ng one. Siguro ito yung i-share natin initially with you so that you can eventually prepare, you can gather data. No, may link na i-share yung division, no, through Sir Jeparel, no, about this. There are areas na division data lang siya. Then there are areas sa school na po, no? So, ito yung learning recovery and continuity plan gap analysis template is for elementary. Meron itong all. Ito yung all. Then elementary and secondary, segregate na ito na. So let me show you yung sa elementary. So dito yung maraming columns ito, no? Merong area or result or statements or performance indicator. Yan ang first column. Followed by ideal or standard. Ano bang standard when it comes to net enrollment rate? Then, yung actual. If standard is 100, ano yung actual? Siguro sa division sa atin, 94%. So, ano yung gap? From equal lang yan. Subtract, no? Ano yung actual? Ano yung ideal? Tapos, okay. For example, dito, ang ideal is 100%. Ito yung sa net enrollment ratio. So 100%, ang actual is 94%, so yung gap is 6%. So anong gagawin natin sa gap? So yun titingnan natin kung ano yung mga intervention natin using the 4D model. So the first D is discover. So when we look into the DEDP, so meron tayong DEDP, yung framework ng DEDP before, nandoon nakalagay yung MAZE, Project MAZE, no? Mapping, advocacy, and child find for enrollment. Or in short, MAZE. So, murag mo man itong gibuhat to, nga mag-mapping ta, then mag-advocate ta, mangita kita, no? We even go to BHW, BNS, or sa ato dito sa kapitan, mga ta by purok, no? To really identify yung mga learners, yung school age. Ito yung first intermediate outcomes kasi, no? IO1 is all school age children out of school youth and adults access relevant basic learning opportunities. Maklaro ba siya? Klaro naman, no?
Yes, sir. Klaro ra, sir.
Klaro na. Sige. Let me continue ha. Ako lang ilihok-lihok. So, nandyan, no? From actual and gap. So, ang na-discover nga, ay, naday sila, naday maze. So, paunsa ang question karon na to, paunsa how can we improve this maze? No, naaman ni diri ang mga sample ana, no? Na early. Siguro na apa na ilaing yung ginabuhatin niyo diha. Nga kuan karon, especially using the technology. So mo na day na, no? Mo dream na day ka. How can we further improve? Of course, kuan na to ang goal na to nga 100% gidunta ang school age children, even ang out of school youth and adults naka-access sa basic learning opportunities. So, for school age, of course, katong basic education ang ato ang K-12. What about out of school youth? Unsa may itong gihatag? Na po na ang ALS, no? Ang sa mga adults, unsa itong gihatag? Na PBLP, Basic Literacy Program. Mga nga na ba? Okay, because diri ang IO number 1 is all school age children, out of school youth, and adults access relevant basic learning opportunities. So, ang kuha na to nga, we find these learners, ibutang na to sila sa eskwelahan or if not sa learning centers or asa na to sila kuhanan nga we can provide them with education. May it be formal education, non-formal education, or informal education. No, so na. So kani diri masulod na diri ang inclusive education, no? Pero mag-start kita with mapping. So how can we further improve? So na diri ang mga siguro you can say nga I intensify child find activities. O mga kana mga intensification. I-intensify na to ang may project maze. Or baka may yung ka nga e-maze na siya niya, e-maze. Butangan rin sample. Enhance mapping, advocacy, and child find for enrollment. Okay, ano ba? Sige daw. Sample lang to ha. E-maze. Enhance maze. So, muna i-dream, no? Then, pamangutan na po, how? Paon sa mga ginato na abuhaton? Then, what if, yung mga question ba, what if, ing anio na to, what if, ing anio na to, no? So, dapat na ay, discussion in the school, paon saan na to na ma-improve na nga to ang kwan, dili lang nga, magbutang lang kalitong tarpaulin, enrollment, starts, assign, aning isa ka teacher. So at least i-intensify na to ba? Kung 100% na mo, wala na i-gap, maintain na lang to ninyo. No? So, yeah, no? Then, i-design na dayo na to. So, ang i-design, so, just like mapping strategies. So, tanaon saan na ang pag-mapping for kindergarten, asa man tamuan to. So, diha na dayon ang i-lay down sa design, i-lay down na dayon ang mga specific na action ninyong pag-abuhaton. No, just like kagibutang na mapping strategies for kinder, SPED, grade 1 to 12, ALS, OSY. Then advocacy strategies, paunsa na to i-advocate. Nabatay Facebook page, nabatay through text, through call, kung naatay radyo nga katong sa RBI, pwede itong magdumagamit. Then another child find activities. Di ba naman tayo depend order ana sa child find, katong sa special education, child find policy. Then, of course, yung mga mechanism natin, i-appeal na ng mechanism no, paunsa man. Just like kung gahapon, shared by our by ESDS Romagera, na para makahatag tag access sa ilaha, we can create IS, no? Creation of IS, no? Yung creation of integrated school. So, paunsa man nato na ma-create kaning IS. So ang IS no nanay mga questions no, mga question ba how, what if, mga ano ba no, what if mag-create ang IS, paunsa man ta mag-create? So mag-create pud ta og district no, district review and evaluation committee nga dili na ang division office mo ana diha sa initial evaluation sa readiness sa school to have that integrated school, to establish an integrated school, pero naatay i-create or establish nga District Review and Evaluation Committee headed by the Public Schools District Supervisor or the PICD. Dayon katong mga MNA nato diha, no? So murag katong mahimo ba nga i-download nato ang services nilang Sir Inding sa inyo ha. Katong sa Project Rise, no? Katong renaming natoy kwan si Sir Inding ana, no? So ano then we establish mechanism when it comes to creation, no? And of course mechanism sa mapping, mechanism sa advocacy, mechanism sa child find, and of course siguro mo appeal punta mo tapos the partnership natay mga partner agencies diha o mga NGOs. From the design na identify natin mga strategies, ikuha na lang din ninyo how can, no? When are we going to implement? So na-identify na activities, ibutang na ta, mag-tasking na ta, na natay timeline, kano sa nato na buhaton, sa August ba? Sa August naman yun na buhaton, no? Ang mga timeline sa advocacy, sa mapping, then, ang timeline, ang mga persons involved, mga funds needed, na materials needed, so na rin na, no? How can we measure it? Then, of course, na remarks ang expected output. So siguro expected output na to 100% yun. 100% of learners na ma-identified for ALS, identified for kindergarten, for grade 1, grade 2, tana na, mananagid na. Still be enrollment na to, no? Muna siya ang sample. Using this template, no? Paggamit ani nga template. So, kaning template nga ihatag, no? Actually kanang link, no? We will ask siguro siya na later to share with you the link of kaning nga template sa inyo ha, para at least nanagito yung data sa division siya nga perspective. Pero yes, just like yung net enrollment NER sa division base yan, other data, pwede ninyo nakuhaon sa inyo ha. No, I asked Jeff Parel nga, i-identify ito nga, division base lang siya, nga data. And areas also, indicators nga, ma-quantify sa inyo nga sa school data. So, daghan-daghan siya, ato lang ipili, no? Naana diha, ang una ay ang access. Dayon next is ang equity, na diha ang equity, sample school age children and youth and adults in situation of disadvantage benefited from appropriate equity initiatives. So, proportion of learners in situation of disadvantage, transition to next case stage. So, ang transition rate na po na. Just like, ang sample ani nga kanabang, ang transition rate from kindergarten, di ba? Ang transition rate na from, karag yung sa high school ba, from elementary to secondary. Ila kabok elementary ron. 600 kapin, 649. Ang secondary 118. O na ang eskwelahan, so dako kay disparity, no? Asa man ang mga bot, mga to ang mga bata, asa man na sila, pila man ang mabilin, dili makapadayon sa secondary pa lang na mga ingana ba, so isa na siya, no? Or by cohort o transition rate, pila ba sa kindergarten ang dili makapadayon matong grade 1? 100% ba? Kung 100%, that's good, well and good. Wala tayo gap diha, no? Sustain na lang, padayon na lang itong mga initiative diha. So, pero kung naagani gap, unsa ko na ito na pag-address? O na, no? So, importante gani nga naatay katong summer class, kanang na learning recovery, gid ba? So, that's under equity, no? Manay mga, muna niya itong pilinan na lang niyo og data kada school, pwede po ninyo ma-determine kung gusto mo ang mga district supervisor, kung gusto po, you can make your this division learning district, no? Learning recovery, pero akong yung gi-encourage ang school, no? You just provide technical assistance sa school. No? Yan. Then, sa pillar number 3, muna na, no? Kada, if there are data, if there are indicators, nga dili ninyo ma-providean og data, leave it na lang, no? Ayo, don't exhaust your heart, your mind, na dili na mo makatulog, mag-huna-huna og data. We need real data, ha? Dili ko gusto kanang data nga kanang hinimo-hinimo lang. Kanang ini yung tinuod nga data nga eventually maka-address yun sa problems itong mga bata. Kay kamo ra man gyud gihapon ang mga schools to maggihapon magbuhat ani, no? Sa equity sa quality na diha, no? Yung cohort survival rate, na completion rate, na andre. Kana ginaw percentage of learners achieving nearly proficient or better in English. So, mana percentage of learners attaining nearly proficient level or better in reading and listening comprehension increase. So, asa man nato ni makuha nga result sa PhilErie ni siya, di ba? Or if not, siguro you can look at the result sa ilang grado sa English or sa Filipino. Katong unsay kwan diha, no? Tanaw na mo katong mubo kay mga grado ato na lang itong i-maximize nga i-kwan nato. We will make use of that, no? Ang grado niya kanang general average yata, no? General average for that particular parang average per subject. Ang average niya ang tanawon. Pila ka learners ana ang below 75 siguro 78 or 80 and 80 to 75, then 81 to 85 murag ana na lang kung wala kitay data, no? Pero I do believe na atay PhilErie. Then percentage of learners attaining proficient level or below in stage 2 numeracy standard. So yung numeracy sa mathematics na po ni. So ato na lang ning gikwandaan, giandam na nato ni daan para at least pag-abot na mag-evaluate using the monitoring and evaluation framework of Depedzn, nakaandam na ta because these are the indicators dito sa M&A sa Depedzn. Then of course naana diha ang pillars, pillar 4, learners resiliency and well-being. Then sa governance side na po diha governance and management proportion of schools achieving higher level of SBM practice. So atong nagtulog-tulog sa SBM na naman gini because these are enabling mechanism. Then proportion of offices across governance level with very satisfactory and high rating in the OPCRF. O, kung sa school ni siya, IPCRF ang rating, ang proportion, ani, no? Then mga equipment na to, tanawon, siya diya, na yung mga data. These are the data, no? Daghan kay siya nga, kwan. So, mo ni ang unsay result, ani, mo na i-call out kada IOs. No, mo to yung gap analysis and using AI. So that's it, no? Using this template, unahon gyud nato ni nga template na mo gather og data. Then after that, kung unsay na analyze nga data, ihimo na dayon nato, ibutang nato adtong outline, magkuha na dayon to, maghimo na tag plan, just like inyong gibuhat nga BELCP. So ang kuan lang, no, kung natay BELCP, tanaw lang to nato unsay kuan dito dugangan, no? Kung katong naay especially kanang under equity and resilience and well-being, katuloy idugang, no? And of course, i-identify ko na to. Focus ito itong 3 areas kaganina akong gipresent sa inyo. No? Remediation, learning remediation and intervention, teachers training, no? And sa paan, sa patong isa, ganyan, learning remediation and intervention, socio-emotional functioning, mental health and well-being, and professional development of teachers. So, that's it, no? Marang nagtaas to ganina si Sir Miquel.
Sir, katong doon naman tayo katong sa end of school year nga requirement for schools having enrollees or pupils getting 75 to 79 grade nga subject for enrichment program.
Yes, oo.
Pwede siguro na ito i-appeal itong data, sir, kaya para para ma-determine na itong how many schools or how many learners are under that from 0, mas okay.
Pero actually, mao man ay gibuhat, Sir Miquel, based sa feedback, nga gi-change na lang ang grado para dili mag-summer class, kay mag-summer vacation pod. Pero tinood pod ba, no? Looy pod ba ato mga teachers na walay break. Pero siguro ang ato na lang kwan nga that's kung tinuod yun, no, mas nindot na gito those data ma-included kay apil kato na atong i-address gid unta kung wala nila gi-change. Okay, I hear feedback not only in our division but other divisions ingana pod nga during the checking wala pa nagpa-check kay gi-change kay kung na ay below 79 to 75 mag-conduct og summer class. Mao mo na ka ang feedback, Sir Miquel?
Yes, sir. Correct yun. Kay ang mga neighboring schools na nako sa Rojas, sa ako lang lugar, murag ni confess yun sila. Iko nga, nakasabot man ninyo. Pero for that matter siguro, for our own purpose, pwede siguro nato i-consider nga confidential matter ka nga kuan. Yes. We will try to discover kay para mag-create putag ka ng contextualized nga intervention.
Yeah.
Intervention. Okay. We know their purpose wherein ikaw pa nakasabot man ta kay sa labor ba or sa kuan time needed to prepare the document. Yes. Dito sila ka-enjoy sa ilang supposedly nga i-enjoy nga summer break.
Tama.
Confidential lang, sir. For our own purpose lang, sir.
Yeah. Pwede. Actually, dapat ibutang na to. Siguro mo na ganina nga, if ever the school cannot do the summer intervention, dito na lang nato nabuhaton sa kwan, no? Kada bang understanding also nga all work without break will make us dull. No, siguro katong first mo ganito kung kuwag ka ganina ipahapyaw nga istorya nga first 2 weeks siguro o first 2 weeks sa pag-start sa class dito na to buhaton kay kuan magunta we have to set the mode readiness of our learners. So kadang first 2 weeks we will prepare them so sa to yung mga kakulangan nila when it comes to that particular cohort for that particular subject. Handa mo na nato. No, conditioning ba? Dili nato sila birahan og kanang grabe nga input, no, about sa subject for that cohorts or for that grade level. So, a sort of review nga refresh mapukaw na to, ma-awaken na to ang ilang senses sa siyempre na ay mga learning gaps, no, katong siguro kanang murag na ay break ma-relax sila sige dula-dula siguro ang mga bata so eventually i-condition na to na kanang first 2 weeks murag katong gi-implement na to sa una ba nga 8-week curriculum murag ingana may tabo, no, sa grade 1 sa una na i-andam na to ang mga bata. Maraging anak ra magid for me my understanding about the learning recovery murag kana siya nga although we are already in kung mag-grade 1 sila naamay yung mga learning loss nila sa kindergarten so na yung mga 2 weeks or 3 weeks na to gamiton nga ma-address to siya na somehow ma-prepare sila for learning the competencies sa grade 1. Kanang one way of conditioning them, no? Kanang law of association, law of readiness and law of association. Those are mga important laws of learning. We need to always think when we plan for intervention, when we plan for yung curriculum improvement or curriculum implementation. Okay? Sa mga PSDSS, paningupon mo. Ayaw kaulaw. This is a safe environment. Or wala na sa ang signal sa itong kwan. Or if not, kung na-ay question, isulat lang ninyo sa kwan. There is a chat box if you have queries para eventually makuha na ito. Ma-address. Okay lang ba sa inyo if we will provide you with this template para maghinahinay na ang school?
Okay
Yes,
lang,
sir. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay na,
Sige,
sir.
sige. So, we will provide the link or kanang template talaga sa siguro kaya kung ang link baka i-change ninyo ang data na mo ba? Hana na lang siguro, no? We will provide you the template na lang yun. Pero na ito yung data. No? Katungkol sa data nga magamit ninyo, pero wala pa tayo, wala to na, wala. Ay, kanina lang siguro, no? Sabay.
Sir, kanang template with sample, sir.
With sample. Kanina yun, no? Sige, kanina lang yun ako i-share ninyo. Oh.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So,
Sir.
so okay na tayo? Si Sir Dan. Si Sir...
Okay na, sir.
Si Sir Ray. Una Sir Ray, then followed by Sir Alga. Sige. Sige, akong hatagan mo special kwan. Our plan is we will our kwan is ikwan na mo siya sa tawag ani by congressional district. Siguro congressional district 1 and 2 morning or afternoon, congressional district 3 unahon na mo sa buntag kay baka para kusog-kusog ang signal. Kaya basically kanina gyapon namong i-present gyapon sa ilaha. Now with katong sample na gyud ta nga Lrcp. Yeah. Sige lang. Ikuha lang, Sir Ray, nga at least pwede the following week na to or earlier, kung gusto mo by Thursday, pwede. No? Basta kanina. Yes, oo. Pero ako sa tanawon kung mahuman ng katong division Lrcp, kaya ka naman ang gikwangod nga. Nanghayo to extension. Si Ma'am CID nga, pwede ba nga by Wednesday na lang para at least natay mahuman ang Monday magod akong deadline for them to prepare to give us kato ng kaning mga needed data para at least mahimo na nato ato ang Lrcp. Simple lang ito ang ating guide. Ikaw lang sir, ma-inform lang, no? Kung hindi na ito makansa, if you cannot change sa Friday, we can schedule the following week. So, kita na lang, online na lang. No? Sige, just give me the link. Sige. Sir Alga, you are recognized.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Good morning to all of us.
Good morning.
Sir, a while ago you mentioned about the possible conduct of district learning action cell, wherein teachers of similar levels will be grouped together and they will be discussing to address the learned skills.
Yes, sir.
Actually, sir, I really appreciate that idea, sir. Now, my question is, when will we be allowed to conduct this kind of district learning action cell? Is it to be conducted before the opening of classes? And if so, then what should we prepare? Should we prepare activity proposal for this for approval by the mayor office? Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. It's like this. Yes, sir. After crafting aning plan, you can proceed right away with yung training, teachers training na. Because eventually, that will be the input sa plan. Pwede kanina karon o kung ano. Kaya nga naman, whatever the result of that will be part of your plan. Then when it comes to the preparation, sir, inform us na lang. Okay, there's need for us to approve because anything that will be yung especially when it comes to funding, sir, pwede na ikaw na ang approve sa proposal niya, sir. Ang district supervisor, okay. Na naman mo SOB, pirmahan naman ako ng SOB, diba, when it comes to funding. Basta di na tayo dito ng ako, because this is not a separate one, this is a learning action cell. So meaning, nakaplano na naman learning action cell, diba? Kung ano, nag-uliat na ito na ginaplano. So, pwede ma-charge ang atupan. That is one thing we discussed also yesterday with our accountant, kinamang din Mexico yesterday. Sa mga proposal mga dili na dapat mabuto dili kay ang disbursement sa mga funds, no? Kapag pag-approve upon signing ako upon signing the SOB, atong budget sa school, automatic na to. Whatever progress ang nga naka-align dito, approve na to tanan.
Sir, follow up lang sir kanang I think that is a debate order nga murag issued sometime in 2016 tingali about the conduct of the
Yes.
Yes, sir.
35. Oh, yeah.
So without sir kay katong sa day 35 murag throughout the school year man to. So
Yeah.
Posible na may conduct ni siya bisan nagasugod kasi bisan during the
Pwede, part sa plan po, part sa plan. Kaya naman dito sa learning recovery, sir. Diba nga, naaman sa katong Depedzn order number 34, tulungan din ka mo mga areas, learning remediation and intervention, socio-emotional functioning, and well-being, professional development of teachers. Pero kung gusto nyo na ito nga data-driven na itong intervention, ako i-suggest nga before sa opening of classes unta, natay learning action cell na nga sa district, ma-identify ba? Karon kailan, if ever no nga, siguro, ikapoy na si teacher sa summer class. Ikaw lang ginato kay actually we heard all the mga complaints sa teacher. Number one, IPCRF karon ibig sabihin na sila kaya ko siya sa IPCRF sa checking of forms. So murag hitabo ana ang summer class murag wala na gid siguro, no, tungkol sa overlapping activities. So kung i-suggest lang ako siguro we can approach na 1 week na siguro or days na mabuhat na to na eventually we can also give them yung service credits.
I see. Yes, sir.
Or ana siya ba nga di na kibukat sa ilapon, no? Yan no, it's let the students understand niya. Mas may maguni siya sa nga we will do it earlier. Kay at least may balang ginato ang kanang certain na tayo pag start sa klase labi na sa learning remediation certain kay ta no daghan kay ma-open atong mind when it comes to strategies kay collective man siya di ba mas more minds thinking better gid ang plans mahimo murag ina dili kayo bugat sa ila isa division district initiative na siya no when it comes sa professional development pero pag siya needs based performance sa bata nga atong ginanaw.
Sir, the way I look at it, it's really better that we could conduct this before the start of classes.
Yes,
so can we charge their participation to the district at training for this purpose against their participation to the Brigada Eskwela?
Brigada, si Parit mag-utsang ko, sir. Pwede siguro, sir. While Brigada, pwede nga. 1 week mo na naman, may 1 week ng Brigada, then you upon ang 2-1.
Kasi din na participation there at the same time of participation there.
Pwede. Pero siguro, di ko lang magsasagal ko siguro time mga 2 days for cleaning, then of course 3 days for, pwede na ito makuha. Pero 5 days na ilang makuha nga, service credits there. Pwede na ako ikuha mo, sacrifice mo, sir. Bisyo publiko gila.
Para wala na dagat lang reklamo nga.
Yeah, actually, you can devise that, sir. I give you the authority to do it, no? Because that's an initiative. Wala akong ikuha na mabilis siya mahimo sa mga hassle. Kay, we integrate, no? It's integration. Para sa teacher, mas mahimo ako, I go for that, no?
Thank you, sir. The last question, sir, relative to what you said a while ago, that with your signing of the SOB, it carries with it the assumption that the activity proposal for this purpose can be signed by the district head on their behalf. Yeah. Now, what about for the budgetary requirements, sir?
Okay lang, okay. Approve na yan. Kasi nakuha na yan sa camping, approve na yesterday, wala na problema.
So, ang mga perito, sir, prepared by the school head, then approve mo?
Ako lang ihapon, pero ikaw besides ako, I4.
Sir. Wala yung curriculum approval, sir?
No more. Part na sa tuwang. Tapi ikaw, ang prepare siguro ni school head, isa ba ilaing kwan niya?
Kagining sa administrative naman.
Hindi naman nga, sir. Okay naman ginagawa. Prepared by the school head yun. Dayon.
Hindi ko approve ng bookkeeper.
Hindi, ikaw lang dayon. Approve na lang din ito.
Sige, sir. Salamat ka, sir.
Hindi na mabugay yun. Then inform us. Dahil ikaw lang siguro na may pagkawala mo na may PCR training na sana completion report. Then give us the names. Para at least we can even give katong recommend for service credits. Kaya lang siya.
Sige, sir. Thank you so much.
We will be issuing a memorandum in line with this now para at least na ma-anay na po yung authority sa inyong conduct.
Salamat kayo, sir. Salamat. Good morning. God bless.
Okay. Ma'am Lil, hatid mo, mag-isip ng memorandum sa kandak nila.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Noted, sir.
Dayon na pati, dayon yung service credits that will be given to them.
Okay, sir.
Kung in school na, during classes naman good, wala service credits man. Kung sa na pa, di ka ano dapat. Sir, kisay na una. Sir Dinaper, followed by Sir Simlo.
Sir John, morning. Bina, Sir John.
Yes, sir.
Actually, sir, supposedly, follow-up questions dito ka Sir Danny, pero nakuha na niya about atong financial aspect sa proposal, sir. Who will sign on behalf ni Sir Umpoy, sir, is the ADAS.
Wala na, diretso na po sir. Pili si Adas. Si Adas dito noon.
Kaya siya makakontrol ng gubod siya, sir.
Yes, yes. Pili.
Then, another, sir, we have begun pagbasa. Actually, we implemented this, the other one. So, dito lang isulod untang intervention, sir. To one the gap.
Yes.
During regarded spill at the same time.
Hindi ka na pabasa.
Oh, yes, sir. Shooting two birds in one stone, sir.
Reverse gina ka
One reverse, can I service credits?
Yeah, sige.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
No problem. Sir Tim, you're recognized.
Sir John, good morning. Good morning to all of us. Madunggo po,
Yes,
sir.
good morning. Yes.
Thank you kayo, sir, sa opportunity. Nag-guest ko sir, og mga service credits sa mga teachers. Then, in the series of activities contextualized in all these sa imong ginong katong kapukulang mga teachers. Plus, na ako sila incoming nga mga madawat na service credits sa brigada, eskwela. Do na ba limitation, sir, as how many service credits?
15 na kita, sir.
15, sir.
Yes,
Yes, per year.
whole year.
Whole year, sir. Oh,
Yeah.
15. So, kung mas dagan ang mga activity, mas dagan po
Sir, good morning.
So, sir, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, mga 15 na po. Sige.
Sir, good morning.
Yes.
Inquire lang po sa bank sa service credit, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Kasi as per discussion karon sa natong nako is 15 days service credit per year, sir.
Oo. Yes.
And then so in-inquire ko, sir, paunsa kami, sir, mga representative kasi ko sa Cebu School, sir, kasi ang mga ICT is on travel, man ang mga ICT, so may signal. For representative lang sa Cebu to, sir. Inquire ko, sir, may service credit, sir, kasi example kami sa mga Disco ICT, sir, di sa memorandum nga nabasa na mo nga nanamidaan na 15 days service credit per year. Am I correct, sir?
Yeah, contextualize ko na siya. So, di na itong exhaust. 15 na ginagawa for.
So, yes, sir. So, how about sa mga bigada eskwela, sir, mga excess na activities na performed by the school ICT, sir, pag siya, sir, makuan, sir, magamit.
Maganda na. Based sa guidelines, up to 15 na kita.
Yes, sir.
Based sa guidelines.
So, ang excess, sir,
Wala na dito. Kung ano ito, kanang serbisyo publiko.
service lahat, sir.
Yes, service lahat na siya.
Okay.
Guidelines maganda to. Ang guidelines maganda to ang gipanan.
Yes, sir. Pang-main part ko sa last question, sir. Kay representative naman good ko, sir. Ang BI ko, sir, paunsa ang ni, sir.
No, naman tayo kwan. Pero Friday nga nga, tutuotan na. Ang ato lang
Okay,
na,
sir.
you can share this template pa earlier makastart. Imo si school head. Makastart siya.
Okay, sir.
While na bakasyon sila, may hinahinay upang na si school head.
Sige, sir. Salamat. God bless.
Sige.
Hello, Sir John.
Yes, sir.
I report from statement ni Sir Algam if I am on the right. This is an opinion. Itong ingon man ka nga, the authority of the PICD or the PICD goes with it as the moment you approve their SOB. Correct, sir?
Yes. So,
Then, naman like given authority, then you already agreed with the company or si company against proposal na automatic na siya. In my opinion, sir, bakit mo issue na lang ang vision of order baka or memorandum giving authority to the PICD or PSDS nga mo sign in your behalf for that particular matter. For
yes, sir. Yes, mga natong kakugingan si Ma'am Lilia. Ma'am Lilia, really siya may mo. Wala to.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
dapat tayo kay Ate Sulaiman. Ibinay na yung business. Ano ko tinatano? To be authorized. Para wala na yung question.
Ay, sir, din. Kung diingon nga mo approve po na bookkeeper, mo pa siguro kay high office man na school head kay sa bookkeeper. At least nga district bookkeeper, so maybe siguro before.
District nilang ginagawa to, sir. Murag mo controller.
So district, pinyo lang ni, so before mo sign ang PSDS or kuan mo, initial lang below.
Initial.
Pili nga doon na naikuan dito, kanang alignment for coherence of policies regarding financial matters. Thank you, sir.
Murag mo initial siya. Murag mo initial na lang yun under my name para for the SDS.
Yes, sir.
No, thank you for that suggestion. Sir, atong mga kuan, atong agreements, magkakong tayo, Ma'am Lilia, no?
Sir, okay na sir kasi they need to be additional clarification po sir. Salamat kayo sir for entertaining the queries.
Sige. So ako na nang-share, no? Ako to nang-i-kwan. I-share na ako ni siya, pati kung nanay data sa division para at least gamay-gamay na lang ang kulang. Kung wala data ang school, data sa division na data ang gamito. Kaya pati possible, we need to really to have contextualize data. No? Mga ma-reflect dito, especially mga assessment result. Kaya kanina rin, pinakataas ka ng, siguro ako lang i-clarify just like kaning mga focus tayo dito sa quality, hindi ka gani sa mga numeracy, literacy, kaya kung ano siya. So, because of the data, gato na lang yun sa mga bata. No, ang grade sa mga bata. By school na lang yun siya. No, percentage naman siya. Percentage sa attaining proficient level or better. So, taas-taas. Kung tanaan mo sa may gap, makita pa ng gap. Ang percentage is like, mga 100%, 30 learners. Ibutang diya akong 10 lang ang nakakuha ng proficient level or better. So, ang gap mo 20. So, sa ibuhaton mo ng 20%. Maragi ka na ba? 20 ka po. So, that's basically 60%, no? Kung sa ibuhaton na nanadayo na yung mga strategy niyo. Discover, design, deliver. So, kung mga umbrella siyang indicator, we can be deeper sa school sa pagkikinanglan. No, labi ng mga data na to, no? Just like an A&A, na makakuwalay so na karon katong mga performance nga mga we can use sa mga bata ng gamit na to, no? To analyze may atong gamit, no? Don't be so enslaved with this template. Kung ako may maada better so that we can get the complete picture of our learners. Okay tayo? Mabilis sa inyo na ko yung kanina template, aking patapi, hindi ko na lang mag-share, no?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Together with the learn skills po na ito sa regional PBS na ang course of copy sa Pinales, we already have the copy. Okay. Sa division office, ang division achievement test, I am still requesting sir hindi to provide as copy. Harap ko na sir once available na. Which available na sir.
Okay. So atong kahit analysis mama, mas important din na to.
Yes, sir.
Sige. Okay, so that's it. Thank you very much for listening. I hope we can we can share this one with our English na as early as now. Kailangan maganda dito sa ating Lrcp as our blueprint, as our guide as we implement our initiative for school year 2022-2023. Parang si Sir Art nag-raise ng hand.
Okay na, sir. Okay na.
Okay. Sige. So thank you and maayong utos sa tanan.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ma'am Lynn.
Sige, thank you. Our virtual class, our mission superintendent. Thank you so much for the comprehensive session. By the Lrcp. Na fluent na tamo na Lrcp, including the template that will be given to share to you later. And we are happy that you also have interacted and asked questions, clarification, so that you will be guided once you will share this to your school heads. And we will be preparing a division memorandum relative to your district activity so that you can gather your school heads and those who are relevant for the amusement of the school, the Lrcp. Thank you so much once again to our school division superintendent, Sir Berliopi Jr. So we are so blessed to Sir Jude ang nag-discuss sa PELCP sa division. We are so blessed na we are given a sample with data as your guide for your own preparation for the preparation of the schools of the school, the Lrcp. Okay. Thank you so much, Sir.
Yes, ma'am. Buwan naman. Una ko, ma'am. Gawas mag-sit ako.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So maybe now, Sir, okay. I mean, now over the platform to Charla.
Thank you so much, our guest, Sir Depedzn Jr., and to our CID Chief, Dr. Liabelio. So this time, I will now give the platform to our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent. Let's all welcome Ma'am Judith V. Romagera.
Thank you, Charles. My salute to our Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Virgilio P. Batan, our CID Chief, Dr. Liabelio, the supervisors, both of the division and of the district, PSCBs, everyone, a pleasant morning. Kumusta tanan? We have just listened to the very comprehensive presentation of our Schools Division Superintendent regarding the learning, recovery, and continuity plan that we are to pursue comes the opening of the school year in August. So, this was also discussed to us during the EXICOM yesterday, and there were agreements. Yun ang sinabi ni Sir yun, so that you can prepare early on. You can meet with your students at your opportune time. The PLCP that we crafted last year were already migrated to this year's Lrcp. So lahat ng mga activities na identified na nandun that is appearing in the crafting of the Lrcp, isalin natin doon. Yun lang pwede. Kasi there are 3 priority areas of the Lrcp, and mainly because this is intended for learning, recovery, and continuity plan. So, mayroong nagpa-approve ng, I'd like to mention, Sir Ray Tambulero. I commend the plans of this Serious Mania 2 district led by SDS Tambulero because they were able to craft already the enhanced PLCP for 2022-2023. But we refer the matter back to you because we are preparing already, the superintendent is already preparing, and he's presenting it to us, and all of us will be involved in the crafting of the SDO Lrcp. So, wala lang na ako gikuan, sige, balitan na ako. So, sorry for that. Para i-retitle na lang siya, rename into the PE-Lrcp for 2022-2023. Okay, so clarifying naman tadi no, I'd like to present to you. I know you have already made preparations for the incoming visit. Asa na ako screen? Which one will I present? Sandali, I'm confused. Okay, dito. This is not the one. Okay, so I hope you can see on screen. Am I projected, Charles? Charles, na-project na ba ang screen for this one? Okay, so my purpose in being with you this morning is to disseminate the information. It is open discussion, division memorandum number 244 since 2022, or this is the, in other words, this is the on-site Rater-Rate conference for phase 3 and phase 4, particularly evaluation of performance and at the same time development planning. We have never conducted an on-site, a face-to-face read-to-read conference ever since because of the restrictions. But this time, since we are already in level 2, we can already start having face-to-face conference with the school heads regarding this matter and hopefully provide appropriate technical assistance in terms of the implementation of the different PRAs as articulated in their respective OPCRF. Of course, in the memo was reflected the different focus areas. It's from letter A to F of the visit. So, per provisions of Depedzn Order Number 2 series of 2015, where phases 2, 3, and 4 will focus on reflection of accomplishments as and results, rate each of the objectives, complete for the score per objective, determine the overall rating per accomplishments, reach an agreement, and assess the competencies. So actually, there are municipalities. We do this per municipality because there are a lot of municipalities, 60 in total. So parang magdugay na po kaayo no kung 60 per school district natin mo on. So but if we just have the municipalities, we just be having 25 days, and this is going to be more or less 1 by 13 for me and so to Ma'am Judy 12 yata. So only we will be allocating 13 to or 12 to 13 days for the visit. So para hindi po kaayo ma-focus sa among time ni ano. So with that, okay, let me flash the second chart. Page 2. Am I projected sa page 2?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So opportunity for the rating and rater to discuss. I know I have been hearing feedback that there are difficulties encountered by school heads in terms of the preparation of the MOVs. Na agaw, dili sila kaayo kaila sa mga MOVs. Now, in the first place, they were there in the planning with our SEPs, HRDS, and there were agreements that these are the MOVs that will have to be attached in the OPCR. However, I told the school heads that I happen to talk to regarding this. Anyway, kanang rating conference man ni. So, agsulihay ra pud may kung unsay ang difficulty, and then perhaps makatabang sad me kung unsay buhaton na kung naglisod UDI but you have other documents na mo suffice food ani, then maybe we can also improve on the MOVs that are going to be required per PRA. So di man ko siya nga kanina gyud hangtod mao na ni. So this is also an opportune time for school heads na present po sila sa ilang idea nga. For example, na sila yung mga documents in the school that are more relevant to this particular PRA. Pwede sa to nila i-appeal dito, for example, i-substitute in case di nila kaya ang uban na mga MOVs. So, di lang magpa-stress, I have been always telling them, shout out lang ko sa aking group chat, na please do not advise the school heads to hindi na stress unta sa mga MOVs because in fact, during the phase 1 planning, nagmuna na ilaha nga, i-arrange gyud nato ang mga MOVs per quarter ang ilang mga portfolio para dili na sila malisdan na karon pa sila mag-organize ilang portfolio that we are already going to have the conference. So in this particular undertaking, PSDSS and PCDs are requested to assist in the conduct. No, we are requesting you arrange lang ang venue, because we will be of course observing still the health protocols na inapod ang area. There is 1 meter social distancing, and we may be able to use the speakers. Yesterday we had a meeting. After our executive meeting, we called also the SDO team, the staff and other supervisors, officials came to meet on our preparations kasi this is going to be a one-stop shop visit. And not pilot because this is the first time that we during our time is doing this because this is not while we are going to rate a school here, other officials, the SDO, which we think the functions of their office is very important and very much in demand. Kung sa Facebook pa na trending kanula kailangan yung tanan sa ilaha. Amo silang that good. So who are these people? One is the personnel officer, our HRMO. We will bring Ma'am Maya Byron and her counterpart, Ma'am Bungan, Ma'am Judy, Ma'am Christine, and my team. So na siya mag-exchange lang sila o visit dito. So ang usually mo namang papangana sa mga school head, sa mga teachers, I hope you can also advise the school to get questions from the teachers. Unsa man lang pautan, dala ko si Ma'am Maya dito o iyang data, no? Na akong reclass mga gid na kanon. Ang akong documents sa akong sa panay about sa imuhang application for reclassification for promotion sa inyong career, mo magina inyong kanunay pangutana. So, students also mangutana nga na ko'y bantay dito, dugay na kaayo, wa makulihin. So, that this is your very time to also talk to the HRMO. We also are going to bring our planning officer, Sir G. Farrell, and Ma'am Hazel. Si Ma'am Hazel ang yung counterpart. Because in some cases, vacancies that are emanates from a certain school were not replaced kasi dito planning data. So, dito tamo coincide sa atong mga understanding once and for all regarding this matter. So, I really hope and pray no makaana ang 100% media sa inyo ha. Then we also will bring the supply officer and his counterpart. Kaya sa po yung mga pangutana, no? Sa mga magdala daw si Sir Jude o mga forms na daan sa katong mga ikinahanglan sa schools na reports kung saan siya. So, pangutana na sila dito, kung saan yung mga buhaton nila para update na ato ang submission of reports. Na dito mapapibalik kay kulang ang sa mga difficulties. Then we also will bring our IT representative. Our ITO, of course, will be there and his counterpart. The questions regarding uploading of MOVs is upload. So perhaps I would like to request kung pwede na untay internet connectivity sa venue sa ato ang conference kasi baka na yung mga school heads nga wala sila naka-upload, so they need to upload it during that particular time. But of course, we are asking the school heads to have an advent by the school heads and maybe the teachers also. Then we also will be bringing our CID surrogate apps to bring also important news to you. Ang mga surrogate, respective surrogates will be with you. Then, also sa SGOD SEPS, SMME, may dala din si Sir Inding na yung Project Rise niya. Kasi yun ang inaano niya yung sa QMS and others. And his counterpart is the EPS, Sir Jed Nieves. Then we also, sa HRDS, of course, si Sir Bong and Ma'am Nikki is the counterpart. We also would like to talk about Citizens Charter in the school and customer satisfaction survey in the school. And also, perhaps, the automation of the Form 48 for all school heads and teachers in the different municipalities, in all the schools of Zamboanga del Norte. These are the topics nga among kagahapon na mo siguro ni ilang ipangutana, no. But perhaps napa sila daghang pangutana nga wala nato wala na mo mahuna-huna but they are free to air that during the visit. Of course, again, I'd like to emphasize that the presence of the surrogate EPS, the division supervisors, thus you are invited in this meeting, mga division supervisors, because you shall be providing technical assistance to school heads in the crafting of the learning, recovery, and continuity plan. So, ako yung appeal mo kay aron makita mo sa presentation ni Sir June, and we soon will meet anytime next week and engage ourselves into the making of this LRCP, which will be given a lunch to all the school heads, preferably on Friday. So, yun. Kana siya one-stop shop ang approach nato. So, mahimo na dayon ni siyang 2021-2022 School Heads Performance Review, Evaluation, and Development Planning, CUM one-stop shop visit for technical assistance of other offices in the schools division of Zamboanga del Norte. So, ingon ana na siya ang iyahang picture. In the memorandum, we requested the PSDSS to prepare a venue for this. Ingon ani lang ang venue sa Rater-Rate conference. We will have the preliminary. The staff will get in touch with you on this anytime prior, of course, to the visit. Kung unsay mahitabo. A very short preliminary, of course, na I welcome po, no? Very short, five sentences lang, because we are looking into the importance of the time that we are with you kasi maraming school heads. So very, short preliminaries. Then we proceed right away to the Rater-Rate conference in another room. So mga another small room para sa Rater-Rate conference. And for the Rater-Rate conference, we will be needing the presence of the concerned PSDS or PICD to be with us. Bale tuluta sa atong conference because the PSDSs are requested to initial the PCR of the school heads on our behalf sa amuang asrate, sa amuang portion in the PCR o PCR. So tuluta pwede ba nga tuluta, no, kay para napoy kauban tong school head nga mag-explain, and then napoy koy pangutan-on kung unsay katinud-an ini for the authenticity and completeness of the documents. So yun, of course travel is going to be charged to local funds. May link na. I have sent to the group chat the submissions. We only have 66 so far. So perhaps naglisod yun, no? Nangalap pag yun ni sila. But we cannot postpone anymore. We forgo with our schedule this week because we had other important convergences and activities called for by the higher office. We had the Remancom Monday, Tuesday, then we had the Exicom yesterday, and our initial plan was to call the school heads on a virtual meeting today, but since wala pa nahuman to ni Sir June, no, ni Sir SDS, and then we will be forming committees pa. Si Ma'am Wednesday unta, but si Ma'am CID Chief requested, as what was said by SDS kanina, na Friday na lang. So wala pa announcement as to when we will meet on another, regarding the new schedule of those municipalities that have been moved, particularly Pinyan, Mutya, and Pulangco for CD1, and also katong sa CD2 CD3 nga na postpone. But I have read in the group chat nga si Ma'am Judy has an instruction to all the CD3 PSDSs and PICDs. Please hit on like or comment for whatever information that has been sent to the group chat, so that at least we will know that you have read these messages, which we deem important kasi di man punta magpadala og dili importante. So request lang, hit on like button para makabalo pud mi nga nakabasa di ay kay og sinzone lang good, dili man mi kahibalo kung nakabasa ba mo og dili. So our hitting the like button will mean that you have read the message that we have sent you. You are also free to send a reply o mangutana pa mo dito, pwede ra gyud na siya. So then we have the schedule. Ito yung schedule. Yan. So initially, ingon si SDS ganina nga Friday i-launch ang Lrcp. So in the meeting that was also discussed yesterday in the Exicom, in the meeting that followed right after the Exicom with the SDO team on the RPMS on-site visit, niingon mi daan nga i-move na lang na pud nato ang sa Friday. Kung sa Friday yun may tabo ang launching of the 2022-2023 LRCP. So Sir Ray Tambulero, inaana lang atong arrangement sir ha. Kung madayon, I move na to give way to this very important undertaking. And kung dili madayon sir, whoever nga matamaan sa schedule, kato na pud ato ang i-move. Okay ra mo? Okay ra ta no? Yes. Thank you. So, please let us know of your concerns, no? Di na nakipakita ang next kay mga participants naman ni and kabalo ko na kabalo naman po mo sa kung kinsa as discussed earlier, and you know you have also read the provisions of this memorandum. So please lang, please provide technical assistance sa mga naglisod ng mga school heads. I have tried to download some of the MOVs. Daghan magyapog pictures. Daghang kay pictures yun mo nagyapog album. Please advise the school heads nga in the meeting, I know because we were there, called for by our HRDS SEPs, si Sir Bong, he emphasized nga, bisag duha ka pictures lang, pwede na gid siya. Dili lang nato padaghanon jud kaayo because we are after of the documents that would really show that these activities have been conducted. Unsa lang yun itong makaprove na naa sila dito. Anyway, magkita man sad me sa mga school heads, puhon. So, ana na lang, kato na lang yung mga documents nga kinahanglan nga isupport. Kato na lang yun po ang atong tanawon. Okay? So, mao lang to ako ang istorya sa inyo ha. If you have some questions, suggestions, pwede ra gyud kaayo nga mo-air mo sa inyong mga ideas dinhi karon. That would be all. I-pull out na nako Ma'am Charl. Okay, so if there are reactions, dili lang violent reactions, please let us know. Please let us know. As Sir Arnold is raising his hand. Sir Arnold.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning.
Good morning, everyone. Ma'am, on the last slides you have presented about the list of participants for your visit for the Rate conference. In Labason, ma'am, we have for elementary we have 9. That includes already for Labason 1, 2, and 3 districts. So, may we know from your end if that would be only 9? Because in our district, in the district Labason 2, we have already 5 elementary who will be or full-fledged school heads, which I presume that they are going to be included in the rate discussion or conference. So if there are only 9 and the rest of the 2 districts, I presume that it would be more than even 5 or in our district. So is that really the exact amount? I mean, number of participants for the rate conference?
Yeah, Sir Arnold, thank you for that. Sige, this is not only for Sir Arnold but also for everybody. Kaning column for number of schools, elementary, secondary, and total. This is just to give us, this is more for us than for you because you know your number. This is just for us to give us an idea as to how we should budget the time. But if you have some corrections, okay, ragid kaayo, dili ragid taani, this does not mean finality. Kaning numbers din nga number of elementary and secondary schools. So kanang pwede ragid kayo, just advise them to join in the exercise, Sir Arnold.
So there is exactly, I mean, there are actually list of participants to join. But in as much as there are maybe some additional, if we still have the time, still have the luxury of time to conduct the activity, then this is the time we are going to allow them to participate.
Yeah, lahat po ng school heads, SOIC, pasalihin po sila.
Yes, ma'am.
Kasi mag-OPCRF din sila.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Copy, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. Anything more? So, Ma'am Lil, Charles, I think there are no more queries. I see Sir Inoy. Sir Inoy, please go ahead. Sir, open your mic, sir. Close man imong mic. Sir, close it.
Hi, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
About the schedule po municipality, ma'am, because it was is postponed supposedly. So I would like to suggest, ma'am. Pwede ba suggest, ma'am?
Yeah, of course. Sige. I'm taking down notes. Sige, sir.
I'd like to suggest nga, since our schedule of the first congressional district it was postponed, I would like to suggest nga it will be so that the schedule of the other municipality and the other districts will not sa ulahi si ma'am.
Sir, nag-cutting out lagi ka, sir. Sir? Sir, unsa to, sir? Pwede balikon, sir?
Our schedule in most especially sa in
supposed to be
first congressional
good
district.
mo.
It was postponed. So that I would like to suggest, ma'am, nga, so that the schedule of the other municipalities and other districts will not be destroyed or di ba ma-change. Siguro it is in order nga because in our schedule is na postpone ato na siguro at the back sa ulahin na siguro
Musumpay na lang siya, okay? After August 12, the last is August 12, so after na lang sa August 12, sir, ang inyong hapon. Mana imong buti pasabot. Ayan, o sige, pwede ra gid kaayo para dili pud kaayo kami sa among part, di kaayo siya ma-expend ang among entire week nga moana sa inyo ha. Sige, we can do that, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Yeah, sige, thank you. We get to you in the new schedule, in the making of the new schedule. So makikistorya pod mi sa inyo ha dinha tulo kung kanus agyud ang inyong availability ani. Sige lang mag-abot raon niya ta. Mag-kuan raon niya ako, mag-message raon niya ako sa inyong tulo ni Ma'am Nina o ni Ma'am Karina. Thank you very much, sir. Si Sir Tony. Sir Tony, you're recognized.
Ma'am, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
With regards the activity that we are going to make in our district, actually, ma'am, only the full-fledged school heads will attend to this activity, ma'am.
Lahat po ng SOIC I was in consultation with the HRDSF, si Sir Bong. Yung sabi niya, lahat po ng SOIC, ito po yung sinabi niya sa training nila noon, orientation, that was phase 1. Kasali po yung ipa-OPCRF nila kasi mayroong paaralan, mayroong office, may office na dinadala yung SOIC. So ipa-OPCRF pa rin niya yung mga SOIC.
So yung mga TIC, ma'am, including
we are handling a school, may OPCRF din sila. At the same time, siguro mayroon din silang IPCRF. But I will request the HRDS to get in touch with you on this kasi para siya talaga ang magkapagbigay ng overall instructions to you as to what you are going to do with this.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Jen?
Sir Micrel?
Katubang sa IPCRF, who will prepare the IPCRF and who will prepare the OPCRF. Pwede mo comment, ma'am?
Sir, kanang on a separate venue na lang siguro, taas-taas gina siya nga kuan. I will have to engage with Sir Bong Pukulan.
Short lang, ma'am. Few statement lang, ma'am, not paragraph.
Sige. Go ahead.
My understanding on the OPCRF and the IPCRF is that OPCRF would be prepared for those positions, appointed individuals with appointed positions. For example, principal. So ang principal, OPCRF. So principal, chief, superintendents, regional directors. For those teachers for those individuals who was under the supervision of these people, they prepare IPCRF. For example, the PICD, which is not an appointed position, so the PICD is a principal in charge of the district. So IPCRF ang iya. PSD is under the curriculum chief, so IPCRF ang iya. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, PICDs, kasi school head pa rin, OPCRF, may OPCRF siya. Plus, yung plus factor niya or other responsibilities niya, yung as a PICD. Yun.
Yes, ma'am. Tama yun, ma'am. Kasi school head pa rin siya, ma'am.
We base
Principal
it
siya.
on Deped Order number 2 series of 2015. Yan lang talaga ang basis natin, sir.
Yes,
No other issuances are issued in terms of OPCRF as of now. Wala pa. Katurag yun siya ang atong balik-balikon og tan-aw.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Si Sir Magtuba, Sir Ray.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Ma'am, last conference, if I am not mistaken, it was mentioned by Sir Bong that only the full-fledged will be the participants of this undertaking, ma'am. Because that was also the instruction I have given to the school heads of mine.
Sige, we get to
according to Sir Bong,
on this matter.
Of their position matters, like teacher, like for example, teacher 3, the description of their position description is not for. I mean, that will be considered according to her, according to him. That's why I'm confused now.
Kasi we need to revisit in this on this regard. We need to revisit kasi school is an office po, and baka meron ding bagong instruction ang central office, no, for them. Kasi kapag if you are handling a school, dapat may OPCRF ka talaga. Kasi you are engaged in the performance of the responsibilities of a school head. Nasa designation po yan na kailangang the KRAs of the school heads are given or entrusted to you. And
because I remember, ma'am, if the school has, or the school who is handled by TIC has the cluster head, the cluster head will be the one to participate.
Let us review. Sige lang, ipadala lang. I'd like in this particular instance, kasi hindi ko kasi nabasa yung kanilang mga designation orders. Let's look at the designation orders, kung ano po ang nakasaad doon.
Yes,
Sir
ma'am.
Ray.
Yes, ma'am.
Ang iba were already issued years ago. So, let's treat this matter on a case-to-case basis lang, no? Kasi dili na po nato mapugos tong uban kung mo gito ang ilang designation. So based na lang ta sa designation orders that have been given to them in this regard. Kasi tanawon sa nato tong ang cluster head pod kung what are the responsibilities that has been delegated to him or her as a cluster head. So please advise everyone. I'd like to take this opportunity to also remind everyone na lang in terms of cluster heads, no, ipadala lang ang ilahang mga designation orders yun kaya atutong basahon. And you will also be engaged in the interpretation. Ay kabalaka. This will also be part of our conference. Tulungan ta mag-atubang.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Sige, thank you, Sir Ray. We listen to Sir Alga, sir.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning.
Good morning to all of us. Ma'am Jude, this is just actually very much similar to the concern of Sir Arnold, but I think I have to bring it to your attention that based on Division Memorandum Number 247, the number of identified participants is only 13, and I think this schedule for August 3 is intended for the two districts of Gutalak 1 and Gutalak 2. So sa Gutalak 1 palang daan, ma'am, 14 na daan, papilabot ang Gutalak 2. Thank you, ma'am.
Sige, I will also engage with Ma'am Judy. Si Ma'am Judy is with something that is doing something more important ngayon. So I will engage with her and come up with the exact number. Baka naman meron siyang ano dito, no? So sige lang, sir, we get to you later on. Later, we post in your group chat for CD3 on the finality of this.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, sige, sir. Since there are no more hands that are raised, I'd like to turn over the platform to Ma'am Sharla. Thank you very much, everyone, for your usual support. Ako napasalamat jud ni sa mga PSDS, PSCDs nga every time manghangi ninyo naarag yun mo all out kayo inyong support sa ato ang leadership of the Schools Division of Zamboanga del Norte. Salamat kaayo from the bottom of our hearts. Again,
thank you, ma'am.
Permission to leave the platform also, ha?
Thank you so much to our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Ma'am Judith Romagera. So this time I will now give the platform to our CID Chief, Dr. Lrcp.
Thank you so much, Sharla. Thank you so much to our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Judith Romagera, for clarifying some issues and concerns relative to the activity that will start next week on performance appraisal for school heads. Mobile yan. So this is